We're in London for Europe's premier high-stakes cash game. Tonight, 8 of the world's best will sit down with at least $100,000 of their own money in this no-limit Texas Hold'em poker game.
I love playing in big games.
The most exciting part about any cash game is the amount of money you can win.
A chance to, to show your skills that really matter is to be a winning poker player.
And with one of the strongest fields ever assembled, our stellar lineup are under pressure to perform in this, Europe's biggest televised cash game.
The reason why I want to play against these guys is because they are the best in the world.
I'm not intimidated by nobody at the table. Nobody intimidates me.
I feel like I have something to show them.
It's just the nature of my blood.
I don't think you're going to ever find that tougher lineup.
This is the FullTiltPoker.com $1 million cash game.
Originally from Helsinki, Finland, and known by most in the poker world as Zygmunt, it's Ilari Sahamies. She shocked the poker world when she won the World Series of Poker Europe as an 18-year-old. It's Annette Oberstad. Frenchman, well known in the poker world. He has won World Series of Poker bracelet. It's David Benjamin. Tom Dwan, or durrrr. He plays poker online in the highest stakes regularly against the best in the world. He has one World Series of Poker bracelet, one WPT title, and nearly $2 million in live tournament winnings. It's Ellie Lederer. Former model and tennis player, Patrick Antonius from Finland is always one of the most dangerous players in any game. Mike Matusow, Mike the Mouth himself. He has 3 World Series of Poker bracelets and over $7 million in live tournament winnings. And finally, in seat 8, it's Phil Ivey. His record speaks for itself. 8 World Series of Poker bracelets, 1 WPT title, and over $13 million in tournament winnings. Welcome along to the FullTiltPoker.com $1 million cash game. And our new player in is this one. It's Ellie Lederer. And the interesting thing about Ellie, he doesn't consider himself a poker professional. Yet, he has 1 World Series of Poker bracelet, 1 WPT title, and nearly $2 million in live tournament winnings. If he's not a professional, what is?
I'm struggling.
I'll tell you right now, he also plays the biggest cash games in the world, and he's a lifetime winner to him. This guy, trust me, he's using the old Texas tourist line that I used to use.
See, I didn't even know, but I was struggling.
He didn't have to.
I struggled because I want to struggle, because they say Mike playing too tight.
Yeah, I'm playing too tight. Here, take this.
And Ellie straddles right away, putting the pressure on Mikey Tighty.
I feel hate to see all this money laying around. And
Ivy picks up the jokers, though.
Fold.
Now, you have a lot of experience with Ellie, don't you?
I've played quite a bit of poker, a couple sessions just last week against him, and I can tell you, he's no bargain. He may claim not to be a professional. He plays better than most professionals.
Cool.
The raise from Ivy was to 4,000. Benjamin calls from the small blind. Dwan's going to pass. Ellie calls all the time, doesn't he? He likes to play pots.
I wouldn't say he's a calling station by any stretch, but he will see a lot of flops.
He likes to play.
You playing props with him?
No. I go, Andrew lost 80,000. He goes, only 80? I go, we haven't added his profit losses in yet.
And a little bit of something for everybody.
Well, this is a really good flop for Phil Ivey because I think he's going to get action here.
Check.
Now, Ivy in control, but at the same time, the flop doesn't look terrible for anybody else. Action is to Ivy. Pot is 13-4.
8,000.
And we said goodbye to Andrew Feldman. We said hello to Ellie Lederer. This is David Benjamin, who's had a great turnaround so far.
Cool.
Ellie, obviously an interested observer. Benjamin calls.
It's a really tough overcall here, but I think he still might make it.
It's 8,000. The pot is 29.
Cool.
Getting not quite 4-1, and he's going to call this. He needs another 4 or a king.
5.
That's an interesting card.
It sure is. Now, David Benjamin has an open-ended straight to go with his second pair of 6s. That could be a really trappy card for David Benjamin.
Check.
Check.
And it goes check. Does Ivy definitely bet this? Or does he try to keep the pot small?
100% of the time. He's got to bet at least half the pot. Bet about 22,000. That feels about right. Still a draw-heavy board.
Check.
Wow. Phil lets a card come off.
Yeah, Ivy decides to check that.
8.
He's going to keep this pot a little small, pot control. He thinks maybe that board got a little straight. Maybe somebody made 2 pair. Doesn't want to build a big pot up with just one pair.
Check.
Check.
I think it was more about pot control, the size of the pot, than really afraid of made hands. Plus, if it comes a blank like this, now he's checked and shown weakness. He might get paid off. They might think he's on a draw.
100%.
20,000.
And the interesting thing about it is, on a board like this with jacks, probably can get 2 streets of value. I'm not sure if you can get 3 streets of value.
Usually, if you get the 3rd street, you find out the hard way you weren't getting the value. You were the victim.
There you go. Over to Benjamin with 6s. This is a tough spot for Benjamin.
I think one of these two will call. I don't think the other one will.
Pot is 57-4. 20,000 to call. I'm getting nearly 3-1. Benjamin's not going to call. Over to Ellie. Ellie can only beat a bluff.
Especially after checking the turn. He could have his hand range is all over the place.
Cool. Max.
Ellie calls, doesn't like it. Phil Ivey, the master, wins $77,400. And, of course, Benjamin gets out of there, dodges the bullet. Although he got a free card on the turn. Could have made that straight. Lederer, by the way, bought in for $150,000 and is quickly down 32-7.
That's Mr. Ivey to you, sir. Have you ever seen the movie The Devil's Advocate?
Straddles, 1,200.
Of course not.
It's actually a good movie with Al Pacino.
Patrick Antonius is going to straddle this one. Explain to us once again what's straddle?
Raise, 4,000.
Well, straddles win. The first person to the left of the big blind puts up twice the amount of the big blind. But for this, in exchange, they get last action.
2 hands in a row, straddle. Phil Ivey, who's been the most active player at this table. First time he picks up jacks, this time he picks up ace-king.
Maybe it's just your presence, Eli. I mean, just you being here just makes them all just go crazy.
Zygmunt going to 3-bet with the 6-4 of hearts. Both these players very deep. Well, there aren't many players that are willing to stand up to Phil Ivey. Zygmunt's one of them.
It'll be interesting to see how Phil plays this. Just decides to flat.
Yeah, he calls. Now, earlier on, Phil Ivey raised with ace-king, Ziggy re-raised with ace-queen, and Phil Ivey threw away the best hand when they both missed.
Jack, 6, king.
Well, he didn't miss this time.
No, he didn't.
Check.
They both caught a piece of this flop. Bottom pair for Zygmunt, and Phil Ivey flops top pair and checks it to him. It's certainly checking for a trap. It's not checking because he's afraid.
And a lot of players would check this behind, but Ziggy's not a lot of players.
16,000.
Yeah, Ziggy's not one of the people that do a lot of checking, period, so.
He bets 16,000.
Cool.
And Ivey just going to call.
Giving him a little more rope.
10.
It's not really a card you want to see. Now the board's kind of straightening out a little bit.
Check.
It's still a rainbow board, so it's not terrible.
Check.
Check, check. Here's the river.
3.
Probably going to see a value bet here from Phil Ivey. Don't think he's going to get paid, though. Too many overcards for Sahami's hand.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's nothing Ziggy can beat there. He's going to give it up.
30,000. Plus.
2 straddles, 2 big wins by Ivey.
Ladies and gentlemen, live from London, it's the Phil Ivey Show.
Ivey now up $95,000.
He's a winner now. Mike is a winner. Say goodbye to him. We won't see him anymore.
Yeah. I'm just real nitty. I told you if I get 2 cards that were just connected, I was coming.
Yeah.
Raise, 2,000.
I felt it, buddy.
And you said that if you were betting, you always have the nuts.
Well, of course. What else?
And I wasn't here to listen to it. I wasn't here to listen to it. I would let go my...
Button in front of Phil Ivey.
Open raise by Tom Dwan.
That's why I
2,000.
was laughing at Andrew Feldman's bet.
Matusow going to play. Somebody woke up the giant.
Got to be careful waking up sleeping giants.
So close, Ziggy. Looked like it at least. Seemed like so close.
Ivey in there, Ziggy in there. We're going to see this flop
10,
4
ace,
ways. Ace 10, 7, couple of diamonds.
Check.
Tom Dwan has second pair. Zygmunt's got a gut shot. Also a gut shot straight for Matusow. And Phil Ivey has one as well.
Dwan with the best of it. He's also the free flop raiser. He's going to make this continuation bet, it looks like.
Yeah, and I think the rest of the players are going to have a hard time calling this.
7,200.
7,200 from Dwan. Matusow passes, Ivey passes.
25,000. 25,000.
Ziggy going to raise it up.
Well, I'll tell you what. This Zygmunt has got some gamble to him.
How much is Ziggy playing?
He really put Tom Dwan in a real bad spot here. Tom's got second pair.
Kind of a semi-bluff of sorts, right?
Just a rough guess, anyone?
130 back.
Yeah, 130.
Absolutely. He's got outs. If Tom Dwan doesn't have an ace, which he doesn't, this is a very tough call. I mean, especially against this coordinated of a board.
Very draw-heavy board. A lot of straight draws, a lot of flush draws. Well, not lots, one flush draw.
It's a pretty tough call, but he might be able to make this one.
Cool.
And he does.
He calls.
Yeah, that's such a draw-heavy board. Zygmunt could easily have been on a draw.
Hey.
And that was no help to either hand. Oh, it gave...
Well, Zygmunt actually picks up some more outs.
Yeah.
A 9 now gives him a straight as well.
Gave an additional gut shot.
So a 9, a queen, or a jack will win it for Ziggy.
Well, if he has the courage to bet here, that might win this pot too. It's a very coordinated board. This would be a very tough bet for Tom Dwan to call.
And obviously a very tough bet for Ziggy to make.
All in.
Pot is 60,000.
Oh, wow. He pushes all in.
Unbelievable.
Into a $60,000 pot, he bets $130,000. That might look like a draw to Tom Dwan.
He might play something like Queen Jack of Diamonds like this.
Absolutely. He might play King Jack of Diamonds, Queen Jack.
Well, he could play King Jack of Diamonds, but the King of Diamonds is in Dwan's hand.
That's true. Jack 9 of Diamonds, which got there on the turn.
Now, the actual bet is $132,700. That's how much it is to call. The pot is $192,000. You can see everybody on their feet watching this one. This is a huge decision for Tom Dwan.
And when you're wrong here, you're probably real wrong.
Unbelievable play by Ziggy. The guts to make this move.
If I were him, I would have probably rather bet like $40,000 and kept 90 behind. He went for the gusto here, but it could alert Tom Dwan that maybe he's making a move.
Ziggy overbets his bluffs. He also overbets his maid's hands.
Overbetting it by a little bit is one thing, but this one's a massive overbet. Tom Dwan can. He's capable. Not many people at this table, even as great a players as they are, could. But Tom Dwan, most eligible to make this call. It's taken so long now. I'm going to put it up more like 40 to 50% that Tom Dwan makes this call. I thought there was no chance at first. A very tense moment.
Bluff. Good for the game.
Actually, I don't think
All right, next hand.
he would have taken near that long to think if he had just bet 40 or 45 instead of a massive overbet. I think that alerted Tom Dwan to something.
I almost made a call that if it was wrong, you could have really done it.
Oh, that's severe.
I almost made the hero call.
But if it would have been right,
the hero call and a half.
It would have been like
it would have been a hero call and a half.
The donkey, like
Tell
take
the
them
truth.
right onto
Tell the
tape
truth,
them on
Tom.
Zygmunt's.
The donkey made you fall, right? He didn't want to have to deal with this.
I'm not gonna lie. I think you were right. If you would have made the call, that's how bad I play.
You have a king jack a dime on. He didn't want
Raise
to
2,000.
call with king high.
No, not that.
Not that bad.
Opening raise from Eli Lederer.
I was ahead of King Jack of Diamonds, but I would have called King Jack of Diamonds.
And run it 3 times.
King Jack of Diamonds.
Cool.
I don't mind that. I like that defend. I think David Benjamin probably will defend here too.
It's almost me and a little girl, but David always have to interfere.
A little boy too.
4 king deuce. Could you beat the 8-9 of diamonds? That's my question.
You have?
I hadn't. Tom, could you beat the 8-9 of diamonds?
Yeah. Obviously, I wouldn't be thinking if I couldn't beat 8-9.
4 on a deuce here, but no 3 for Ellie.
I could beat 10-9 too.
Still a pretty good flop for threes.
Can't think if you can't beat at least 10-9.
They don't figure to have the deuce or the 4.
Yeah, but it's Zygmunt. I mean, he was due to blow up. I mean, that was it. You just have to be timed. You have to time him when he does it.
Check.
I mean, how long could the loosest player in history for 5 years play so good for? I mean, this is the end of day 2. How much longer do you expect? But I'd have put the super glue on the donkey right on Zygmunt's chest if you would have been right and he was all wrong. We just super glued it right there, right where my neck could just touch the little turn-on button every minute. This will really drive him nuts. Good job, Zygmunt. You got away with your blow-up. Well, don't let it happen again.
Problem is, what if that wasn't it?
Check from Oberstad.
22-5.
And Ellie's going to bet 22-5, an overbet.
If that wasn't it, then there's still one to come. Definitely.
He wants this pot over now.
Just
That's
about,
what that bet says, right?
It really says I've either got a monster or I got nothing. That's what it says to me.
You got 2 blacks, right?
Yes.
You either want action or you don't want action. In this particular case, I'm betting he doesn't want action.
Can you say if you had ace king or better? Because we also had a bet on that.
Wow,
150,000. Who are you gonna collect? He's not.
Yeah, he's in the waiver right now.
He's gonna go there.
And a raise from Oberstad. She takes it down. She sensed the weakness. Great play by Annette.
And she had outs even if she was wrong.
Very courageous play from the Norwegian. She floats from out of position, picks up the straight draw on the turn, check raises on the turn, knowing that, probably thinking that maybe Ellie would bet there, and takes it away.
That was a strong play by Annette Oberstad.
Welcome back to the FullTiltPoker.com $1 million cash game.
We straddle all
I
the time.
straddle if everyone else
Oh,
straddles.
we straddle all the time.
But usually it stops over there, and then he doesn't straddle, and I don't straddle.
I think they're talking about straddling all the time, and that would make this game very, very big. Blinds are already 300, 600 with a $100 ante.
Are you okay with 3, 6, 12 or no?
No, I don't.
1200 straddle.
What do you mean no?
I'm willing to play a round or 2 straddles or whatever. But
All right, we play this round and then you stop.
Yeah, but I owe one. That's the difference. Yeah.
If we do a mandatory straddle, it's going to be 300, 600, 1200 with the 100 ante.
But I have a bad feeling Mike the Mouth isn't going to go for it.
So he said to his, what now you guys
Raise,
tell us
4,000.
what you had yesterday.
Another ace king from Phil Ivey.
Ziggy calls with Jack 10.
That makes a difference.
Tom Dwan with 2 9s.
Cool.
Dwan calls.
Ellie Lederer with 5-7 hearts.
Ellie's going to call. Gap-suited connector.
That'll bring the filled in.
Yeah, Patrick's going to call a 5-deuce offsuit.
Cool.
We're having an awful lot of more avalanches right now.
And she wasn't here yesterday.
What happened yesterday?
Jack
Zygmunt
7-6.
just got away with his blow-up.
Pair of 7s for Ellie Lederer.
Check.
Yeah, Ziggy with the best of it right now. He's got Jack 10.
Top pair for Ziggy.
18.
18,000.
Yeah, heads up, I don't mind having one overcard, but against 5 players, I'm not sure if I like my 9s anymore.
Cool.
Doesn't figure to be good, does it?
Lederer bets, Ziggy calls. And this pot,
you didn't get
nearly
off the
$57,000.
He was like trying to buy off at
Ace.
9-1.
I won 4,500.
Check.
Well, ace of spades. Ellie's going to give up here. He checks.
I suspect we'll see a check behind, too.
I didn't steal any. You gave me action.
And a 7 of spades on the river. He lets Ellie get there.
I'm all in.
All in.
I was gonna get.
Ellie's all in for 71-8.
I don't see how Zygmunt can make this call.
Ziggy's made some big calls. A few of them correct. Most of them, not so much.
A few too many hero calls for my taste.
Ellie definitely capable of making a big bluff, but we can see that he's not bluffing here. He's backed into trip 7s. The audience on their feet watching this one.
I'm actually surprised Zygmunt has taken this long.
Looks like he's going to fold this. Wait a second, he calls!
3 7s.
Look at that! Ziggy makes the call.
And what a payoff for Ellie Lederer. Nice hand. Wow.
And Ziggy is just digging himself a hole.
Ladies and gentlemen, live from Las Vegas, via Gatwick Express, Ellie Lederer.
Things have been crazy here at the $1 Million Cash Game. And Ziggy now down $302,000. Patrick Antonius down $250,000. Everybody else at the table is a winner, courtesy of those two. Tom Dwan and Ed Oberstad combined up just about $400,000. Ellie Lederer, new to the game, now up $50,000, courtesy of that call by Ziggy. These are the players that have played at some point in the $1 Million Cash Game, but are no longer sitting at the table. Chris Ferguson, courtesy of Pocket Aces against Matusow's Pocket Queens, is up $111,000. The other 3 players are down. Jenton, Feldman, Smith, all down $29,000, $53,000, $59,000 respectively.
I won 8,500. But I lost
Straddle's
1,000.
on for
I lost my insurance for 1,000.
You did lose that.
In case you were bluffing. First, I tried to make him understand that
12
you
to
were bluffing,
play.
so we could get
We're in the heart of London.
And then I bet opposite.
You don't normally think of London as the poker capital,
Raise to 4,000.
but once a year, it is.
First, I'm like, oh, I'll bet that 2.5 to 1, and Patrick is
4,000.
bluffing. Next thing you know, I was betting that you had ace king, getting good odds.
4,000.
And I guess Matusow is on board. The mount is on board with the straddling because he is straddled. Blinds 300, 600, and 1,200 all straddle.
4,000 call.
Well, you know that raise is coming. You just don't know who's going to come from.
4,000 to play.
Zygmunt raised this one up to 4,000, called by Lederer and Patrick Antonius. And that might actually bring Mike the Mouth in. Ooh, 6-8 off. You know, he just played a 4-5 off. I guess it's possible.
Yeah, he's going to call. And we'll see this flop 4 ways.
King 9 ace.
Check.
Or bet?
Ace, king, 9, couple of spades, top pair for Ellie.
Check. Check.
Yeah, this one really didn't help anybody except Ellie. Top pair. Not a great kicker.
Check.
That's one of those times when you have ace 5 of clubs, you'll be happy to win a small pot, won't you?
7. Check or bet?
13,000.
13,000.
That's an interesting card. Gives Mike Matusow an open-end straight draw. It also gives Zygmunt an open-end straight draw. And a gut shot for Patrick Antonius. But still in the lead. Top pair right now.
Call 13.
Antonius calls.
Pass.
Matusow gets out of the way, but I think the call from Antonius is going to bring in Ziggy, and it does.
Tray. Check or bet?
Check.
Oh, and a blank on that river.
That's a beautiful river.
Ellie's got to be somewhat happy with that river, because if he had the best hand already, he still does. But with one of these two guys that missed their hands, try to bluff at this is a tough call for Ellie if they do.
Action is on Patrick Antonius. He's thinking about it. And after him, it's Ziggy to speak. And you have to wonder if Antonius checks, is Ziggy going to do one of his classic overbets?
Check.
Very well could. He likes to do that with bluffs and with made hands.
Check.
Aces.
Yeah, he doesn't bet here. And Lederer's going to win this with a pair of aces. It's not really believable. The 3 of the clubs on the river doesn't complete anything. So I think both players realize, you know what kind of story am I trying to tell?
Yep, got to give up because otherwise we're telling an inconsistent story. And what happens with inconsistent stories? You get called.
We've got another live straddle here. This time it's Phil Ivey. First to speak will be Ziggy in seat number 1. And that's Ilari
And
Sahamis.
Ziggy wakes up with ace-king right under the gun. Probably won't get a lot of respect because he's played so many hands.
Raise to 4,300. Pass. Pass.
Pass. I fold.
Pass.
Benjamin folds, Dwan folds, Ellie folds, Antonius folds. Matusow's not going to fold, though, is he?
4,300.
Not ace-queen, are you kidding? Not even Mike the Mouth folds that.
And I got to tell you, if an ace falls, Matusow could be in trouble.
He's definitely going to lose some money.
Only because I don't think he'd give Ziggy any credit.
No, I agree.
3 ways to the flop.
5 deuce 7. Check or bet?
7-5 deuce rainbow.
That was no help to anyone.
Ace king's still the best hand.
Check. Check.
We'll definitely see a continuation bet from Zygmunt. Probably a tough call for anybody here. He'll probably continuation bet and then take it down, I would guess.
I was playing $1,000.
Bet 8,000.
It almost seems like he makes continuation bets like 99% of the time.
Way too high of a percentage for my liking.
Pass.
It fits his style of play, just like his overbluffs.
And he's going to take it down, $80,000 bet. But Ziggy, on the whole, hasn't been very successful today.
Definitely not.
Oh, David. He said David.
You were second worst. It was like
I was. I
neck and
remember
neck.
you looked at me with a queen 8. You remember the queen 8?
You slept your prop suited one time on for double, 3-handed. And it was
1,200 to play.
Another straddle. This time it's Ziggy in the straddle. Annette first to speak.
I never saw anybody sleep a prop suited unless Barry. The big boy suited for triple against
Very
four players.
sleeping in between hands. How's he gonna
Then
not
if
sleep a
Phil
prop?
was going to get up and blow, and remember he saw that
Like
and you
400K or something?
It was
More.
the biggest thing ever.
Like 700,000.
She's going to raise it up with ace 10.
To 3,800.
It was like 200,000 a man.
240 a play.
And Phil have a piece of him.
Did you tell him afterwards or no?
No, he didn't. You would die.
Afterwards, did you tell him afterwards after you slept it, after it was over with, or no?
If I had a piece, I was sitting next to him. If I had a piece of him, you better look under the table.
There'll be a big kicking there.
Cool.
Benjamin calls at 3,800.
And it was so bad, like most of the time, you make fun of someone when they sleep, but it was such a big one, we couldn't even say anything.
Then he went like that. The flop left, he went like...
Oh, man.
Yeah,
That's what he
you
said.
started that when he flopped. I remember you
Did I
started.
really? Yeah, 720,000.
Wow.
Antonius is going to call with the suited connector as well.
Nobody could even laugh. It was just really
He knew
sad.
2 seconds later.
Well, Ziggy never met a hand he didn't like. He's going to call with the deuce 4.
It was so sad because he had been losing, you know, at this point all the time.
He knew 1 second later.
I mean, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. These guys flip coins for 100,000 every other hand. It can't be that much.
Check.
King, queen, 9, couple of diamonds.
Check.
No help to any of the players.
Yeah, it misses all 4 players. Ace 10, still the best of it.
Check.
Gut shot for Annette, but that's not really help. Not against this many players.
Yeah, you'd assume that somebody connected with the board, but no, it checks around, and we're going to see a turn.
Check.
Another king.
The greatest spot ever was playing with Barry, you, Lissandro, and David in Paris in 03. We were playing 8 and 1600 mixed. They were playing twice as big a props.
I got roasted. I lost like
I won 380,000
back
in the
in
poker
03.
game. It was the juiciest poker game ever
Check.
because nobody was paying attention to the poker game. They were all playing for props for so big.
Check.
It checks one more time, and we're going to see a river.
I can feel my tears swelling up. I'm getting my crying call ready.
6 of diamonds, and still nobody hits. Ace high is the best hand.
And it feels like it could be the best hand, too.
Were you playing big props or just like run the worst ever?
We were playing 8 and 1600, and
Check.
it was twice as big as the game.
Okay, show and take, please.
Ace high is going to win $17,000.
Jack high, ace high. Okay.
Sick.
Sick.
Annette, please show the winner right away.
I was considering bluffing on the turn and the river, but I guess I didn't have to. Didn't expect to win that.
When she's winner, she playing any other hand but ace and stuff like that, or she never plays small cards anymore, huh? We lost her for tonight.
Oh, no. She put the chastity belt on about 6 hours ago, buddy. Yeah.
I make sure I only show down the good ones.
She put like a triple lock on it, too.
And Annette climbing up to almost 200,000 in profit now. She's certainly got a big smile on her face, and I don't blame her because she's got a ton of chips in front of her.
And our lovely dealer, Carly, doling out the cards. And we're playing the beautiful game of poker.
1,200 to play.
Dwan first to speak.
Pass.
Not going to play.
Raise to 3,500.
2 8s. Of course, Lederer's going to raise this. Oh, and looky here, Patrick Antonius wakes up with aces.
And he has the aces against the perfect player. Ellie is one of those players who could possibly overplay his 8s.
Absolutely.
We raise to 11,000.
Just because he's such an aggressive player and assumes Patrick Antonius would play aggressive towards him.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my gosh. David Benjamin
11,000 total.
with kings. What bad timing for David Benjamin.
Unfortunately for Patrick Antonius, he only has 123,000. Normally, Patrick would have $250,000 in front of him.
Definitely do some damage to David Benjamin's stack.
And the only thing that might save Ellie Lederer is the fact that we might get some action before he gets to him. Unbelievable turn of events here.
I think we're going to see a 4-bet, though. It's looking like David Benjamin's leaning towards that direction.
And the original raise was from Lederer. Patrick re-raised to 11,000, and now the action is on Benjamin with kings. And he is going to 4-bet.
Always.
Raise
This should be a lot easier for Ellie to get away from now.
to 37,000.
He makes it 37,000. Back over to Lederer.
You were the straddle, huh?
Benjamin was in the straddle. Ellie gives it up.
You're welcome for that little save there.
I'm almost positive you're going to see a flat call here.
37 total.
Because then Benjamin leads at almost any flop. If you 5-bet here, you might make David Benjamin fold kings. Very dangerous re-raise. And plus, he's got an awkward stack size. Once Patrick Antonius makes his call, he has 97,000 left. He can't really quite push all in. But then again, if he does push all in, it might look like he has ace-king. And Benjamin might still make the call.
Action on the finish sensation.
I have a feeling Patrick Antonius is going to push it pre-flop here.
Patrick started this pot with 134,000. Benjamin has him covered.
Big decision for Patrick Antonius. How do I get more money from David Benjamin? I love this poetic pause. Waiting for those two most feared words in poker. Waiting to hear them all in.
All in.
Sure enough, Patrick is all in.
I call.
Quick call from David Benjamin.
All in and a call.
Kings versus aces.
David Benjamin doesn't like what he sees starting out here. He needs a king in a desperate way.
7 deuce 9.
A king and only a king.
Trey.
3 of spades.
What a massive pot. Oh!
Saw the paint there. Saw the paint, but not enough for Benjamin. And $273,000 heads to the finish sensation. David Benjamin left wondering what if. He finally picks up a big hand. He picks up the kings. And unfortunately for him, he walks into the powerful aces. Welcome back to the FullTiltPoker.com $1 Million Cash Game. Unbelievable turn of events there. Nothing had been going Patrick Antonius' way until that hand. He picks up the aces, and lucky for him, Benjamin picks up the kings at the same time. And Patrick Antonius finally doubles up. Now has $273,000 in front of him. He's still down 127, but he was down 265.
1,200 to play.
Trust me, it feels a lot better to be down 126 than 265.
Call. Pass.
When she gets to 500.
1,200 pass.
Now Patrick's only one hand away from being a winner. This is a straddled pot. Ellie going to raise it up in first position with Queen Jack.
Raise to 5,000.
Actually, I take that back. Ellie actually limped. Phil Ivey's going to raise it. Ellie's in for 1,200. Phil Ivey makes it 5,000 with King 6 of hearts.
5,000 total.
And this is the kind of hand Benjamin likes.
Cool.
Benjamin took a big hit there.
I was going to say, in addition, he lost that last pot. Sometimes you see a player play a little looser. We call it tilt in poker after they lose a big pot.
Yeah, Benjamin's a professional, but even professionals can get a little bit emotional out there sometimes.
How much are you playing for?
170 something more.
Well, the game's out of the muck.
Since your fellow Jew arrived.
Lederer, my fellow Jew arrives, and they all lose their minds, man.
5,000.
Like, Ellie's here, yeah! Us lose our minds and play crazy.
And we're going to see this pot 4 ways. Pot already 21-1.
Deuce, tray 7. Check. Check or bet.
7-3 deuce rainbow.
Check.
Hit David Benjamin. He's got a pair of 3s.
Yeah, he's got the best of it right now. Pair of 3s with backdoor diamonds.
15.
Bet 15.
His backdoor diamonds been no good though. Dwan's got the same. It's got bigger diamonds.
And Ivey's going to lead at this and probably take it anyway. But David Benjamin might decide to look him up. Continuation bet by Phil Ivey.
Call.
And he does. David Benjamin makes the call.
15 to call.
Yeah, 15,000. Benjamin looks him up. Unless Dwan is going to get creative. He doesn't have much there. No, he's going to give it up.
15,000.
Ellie's going to pass as well.
I just decided to fold fast for you instead of think about it and get myself into trouble.
For me, no. When I don't have a hand, I fold. I
said I decided to fold fast for you.
That's got to be a good card for David Benjamin. If you like this hand to begin with, that card has to be a good one for him.
Benjamin checks, and can Ivey fire a second bullet?
He's capable of it. Matter of fact, I'd say he's probably a favorite to fire another bullet.
Bet 30,000.
And Ivey's going to fire one more bullet. Now remember, Ivey was the pre-flop raiser. So you start thinking of what kind of hands he might have.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Double barreling right here. If I'm David Benjamin, I'm afraid that Ivey's got some kind of overpair to this board.
9s, 10s,
Yeah,
jacks, anything like that,
it
right?
totally feels like 9s, 10s, jacks. And look at that. Phil Ivey, double barrels and wins.
And if you're up against 9s or 10s or jacks, you actually hate the turn card because that eliminates your 2 pair outs.
Yep, that's right.
I gotta do a straddle, is that right?
1200 straddle is on. 12 to play.
Fold.
That's 12 to play. Raise to 3,500.
Raise from Benjamin.
Call.
Tom Dwan is flat called with the ace-6 of hearts.
Pass. And you, 3,500 total.
I think Patrick's going to call as well. No, Patrick's going to 3-bet this.
Oh, hot in here.
15,000.
He senses the weakness. He wants to see if he can take this down, but I'm not sure if he's going to get everybody to fold.
Pass.
Normally, king, queen in that spot, you would see a Phil Ivey call, but not to a 3-bet.
Shut the fuck. No, wait. There's one more player.
Oh, sorry. Not yet.
I think Dwan calls here.
Well, he's been pretty defensive, and he is in position, and there's no one else to act behind him.
It's 11,800 more to you.
I think a majority of the time you're going to see Tom Dwan call here, too.
I mean, he's getting more than 2 to 1 on the call, plus implied odds, and he has the power of position.
And Patrick Antonius could be steaming just a little bit.
Cool.
Yeah, the squeeze play from Patrick does not work.
No, it's 11,800.
Doesn't work yet, at least.
15.
Here's the flop, Zygmunt. Hillary.
10-4-7.
And the flop misses both players. And the fact that it missed both players probably benefits Antonius, right?
Absolutely. He was the last pre-flop raiser. He's definitely going to lead something here, probably around 20,000, 22,000.
Bet 28,000.
That black chip is a 25K. The reds are 1,000.
Unless Tom Dwan could pick up a read, he's gone.
And he is gone. He didn't pick up a read. And the aggressive play from the Finn wins that pot. Antonius down $140,000. That's nothing for him. That's one hand.
Well, all things considered, Patrick Antonius making a comeback.
No, this is a better game with a straddle. I'll keep straddling all
Okay,
night.
straddle's on for 12.
I'll keep straddling all night.
Yeah, I just don't like the whole straddle thing.
You owe us one or no? No. But she owes us one.
Yeah, but the game's pretty much the same because of any doubles.
Did you hear what they want to
I
do?
mean, it's a little better, though. It's like more proportional and better, you know?
1,200 to play.
Okay, we don't have it.
Mike don't want to do it.
But the next time we had
it doesn't
double.
matter. The straddle was better.
And the straddle is on. And Annette Oberstad folds that one.
1,200 to play.
Folds around to Ellie.
3,500.
Raise to 3,500.
That's a hand that has some value in late position. He's going to raise it up.
I'll tell you what, though, Patrick Antonius has been viciously defending his button. Well, now he's got a real hand on this button.
And this couldn't have worked out better for him.
He raised to 10,000.
He just made a big 3-bet with the queen jack, stole a pot pretty much away from the rest of the table, and now he picks up a legit hand.
11,000, sir.
I love when this happens to me.
And Zygmunt tightening up a little bit. He's got 10-9 of diamonds. I think part of the reason he's not making the big call, he has less than $80,000 in front of him.
Yeah,
not quite deep enough to make calls like that.
Yeah, that's a big part of his decision. I'm sure you're right.
Ellie is going to call, though.
Cool.
Heads up, Ellie and Patrick.
Check.
Ace trade queen. Check or bet.
Ooh, this was going to be interesting. How about a flush draw for Ellie?
Yeah, but Patrick Antonius, 2 10s here. He's probably still going to lead this flop a majority of the time.
Check.
And it goes check, check.
8. Check or bet.
28.
28,000.
And Ellie senses some weakness. He's going to bet here.
Yeah, it's a semi-bluff.
It's a tough call for Patrick.
Oh, yeah, no. I don't see how Patrick could even consider the call.
Heads up. You like the check on the flop from Patrick? I mean, he just gave up right away.
I would have led, and Patrick would lead there 80+% of the time. I'm really surprised he checked that flop. It turns out it saved him money over time, but it actually could have cost him that pot because Ellie might check again on the turn. Then he gets to see the river for free.
1200 to play.
Action on Benjamin.
Nope.
Pass.
Dolly Parton not going to play.
Call it.
Cool.
Dwan not playing. Ellie's going to play. I think he limps in here.
1200. Pass.
He does.
Pass.
King, queen, off. Or pardon me.
900 more.
I think Phil Ivey's going to play this one. He might play it for a raise.
Boy, I'll tell you what.
Raise to 6,000.
Talking about lucky timing.
Pass.
Ellie's sure glad that he limped in now.
And if this flop comes out jack high,
Cool.
or somehow the case king comes out, could get real expensive for Ellie.
It sure could. Tell you what, Phil Ivey's woke up with the hands at the right time today. Oh!
Ace tray.
Well, it's not as bad because the ace being out there.
Yeah, if the ace doesn't come out, Ellie's in a lot of trouble.
Looks like he's in a bit of trouble anyway.
Call.
Bet.
I'd love a check here on the turn if I'm Phil Ivey.
10,000.
Pot 34-6. Here's the turn.
Jack.
Oh,
Check
my
bet.
goodness.
Oh, wow. Phil Ivey. Just let's put this here. Phil Ivey is 195,000 behind. Ellie has him covered.
Bet. 30,000.
30,000 from Ivy.
Cool.
The call.
Well, if this comes a blank on the river, it's definitely going to be some action.
Tray.
That card there might have saved Ellie from losing a big piece of his stack.
Yeah, and right now, Ellie can't even beat ace-5. That 3 really might have saved Ellie.
Bet. 90,000.
Phil's betting because he thinks Ellie has the ace. He's got trip kings. There's no way he's going to put him on a king.
That 3 saved Ellie here, but he's considering the call.
Ivy with kings full of 3s. Aren't many hands he loses to here.
And there's not many hands Ellie can beat here. That's the problem with this
not
call.
anymore. He thinks the river killed him. He doesn't realize the river saved him.
That's right. I'm surprised he's taken this long.
He just hates folding it because he really thinks he had the best hand on the turn. I think he wanted to push on the turn.
I don't know. Maybe I save 90,000 with this card. I had you on the turn. Come on.
Chose King Jack.
Well, exactly what we said.
Wow.
Maybe I had you. Maybe you have aces full. Maybe I saved 90,000.
Well, not aces full, but kings full.
You were close, though.
And Phil never gives him a thing. Certainly not going to show.
Phil Ivey is an oak. Won't give up any hint of what he might have had.
Yeah, the mystique of Phil Ivey continues.
Nice hand, bud.
Let's take a look at the leaderboard. Our new leader up nearly $200,000. And she hasn't played in the entire game, but she has dominated in the part she has played in. Our big losers, Patrick Antonius and Ziggy, down $321,000. And it could have been worse for Patrick Antonius. It really could have. He fortunately had aces against David Benjamin's kings. Otherwise, Patrick Antonius would be down about $400,000. This game getting very, very large very quickly.
Straddle, 1,200.
Ziggy has bought in for another $100,000.
You get small blind and ante.
Ziggy now in for, I want to say, he's actually in for $500,000, right?
Yep, $500,000 he's in.
1,200 straddle.
Got a straddle from Benjamin action on Dwan. Nope, not going to play it. Ellie is going to play, though.
Cool.
He's going to limp in, actually.
Wow, he limped with the legitimate hand, ace-queen.
Cool.
That will draw Phil Ivey in most likely. Yep.
Cool. 1,200 total.
Ivy in there, Matusow in there.
Cool.
Ziggy might try to steal this, though. No, Ziggy completes with a small blind. Annette does as well from the big blind, and now it's over to the straddle, and Benjamin is going to try to take it down.
11,000 total.
It looks like a steal, but he's got a legitimate hand. He's got 2 sevens.
Last time he did this, he had kings. Remember?
That's true.
Raise. 100,000 total.
And since Ellie played his hand so confusing, he decides to go ahead and raise.
How much is it to me?
100,000 total.
Yeah, this is actually a monster hand.
I like that play, by the way.
The interesting play, okay, Ellie limped in with ace-queen. 5 callers. You get the raise from the straddle spot. Now Ellie has re-raised it. Ellie's put 100,000 in. It's all Benjamin's chips.
Ooh, I guess that's one way of looking at it. And once they're in my stack, they're my chips, though. He's putting the pressure on David Benjamin. I don't think he can call here.
Oh, it's 71,700 to call, actually. That's all it is. So forget the all-in. The re-raise to 100K is kind of irrelevant. The actual re-raise is 71,700 because that's what Benjamin has.
That's still a lot to call.
Well, it's 71.7 to win 116, where at best, you're probably 50-50, right?
I don't think we're going to see a call here. I'd be really surprised. But Eli Lederer could play ace-king like this.
Well, you start putting your opponent on a range of hands. And if you think that Ellie makes this move with ace-king, ace-queen, ace-jack, hands like that, you're getting, what, 1.5 to 1 on your money. Still a tough spot.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I think Benjamin makes the right fold. Join us after the break for more action from the FullTiltPoker.com $1 Million Cash Game. Welcome back to the FullTiltPoker.com $1 Million Cash Game. Ellie Lederer is now up 107,000.
Ellie Lederer is my hero. Shana tova, sir. Shana tova.
You know, limp with aces, you have to.
8 of the world's best poker players seated at this table, all putting up their own money. Another straddle. This time it's Ellie in the straddle spot.
I would be happy if I just keep folding until my wrists start hurting.
Patrick Antonius calls. We're getting a lot more calling.
I've noticed that.
Cool.
Ivey calls.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Cool. How we doing?
Partially because of the straddle that's on it, and partly because the stacks are getting so deep.
Cool. Oh, man. You don't listen to him. Phil Ivey has all the rules. Whatever he says goes.
Dwan calls from the big blind with 9-3 offsuit. Well, you've got a lot of players at this table that like to play post-flop poker, huh?
Absolutely.
3-7-4.
Flop is 7-4-3, 2 spades.
Check. Check.
Check.
I like it for Antonius. Got a flush draw with a gut shot.
6,000.
That's a strong draw.
And you can see the percentages.
And he's
Patrick
betting
Antonius, 50% chance. He's strong semi-bluff from him.
The top pair still for Zygmunt.
Zygmunt's going to call.
Cool.
Bottom pair for Dwan. Don't think we'll hear from him this hand.
Sorry.
Heads up.
Oh, got it down to the best hand and the best draw.
10.
10 of clubs.
And that's a blank for Patrick Antonius there.
And Antonius was in pretty good shape on the flop. But now Ziggy is ahead, and he's about a 2-1 favorite to win this hand. And this is Finn against Finn.
I got glasses here.
Check.
Interestingly enough, Zygmunt actually first learned how to play poker at Patrick Antonius' house.
5.
Well, it gives Antonius a showdown card. I think that'll freeze up his betting for sure. Very well could see check because of that card.
Check. Check.
And sure enough, it does go check. And Zygmunt going to win this one. Yeah, Zygmunt learned how to play poker at Patrick's house. He was invited to a home game, and he caught the bug.
Well, I'd say he caught not a slight case, he caught a big-time case.
Why this spot is so small?
Zygmunt had top pair, he had a pair and a flush draw and a straight draw, and they wanted to play easy against each other because they're trying to take it out on me.
1,200 straight away.
The fans on the edge of their seats. And it's interesting. Some people say poker's not a spectator sport. I disagree. It can be very exciting.
Extremely exciting.
Especially when you start talking about $200,000, $300,000 pots. Benjamin on the button. No, he's not going to steal.
How old are you now, Annette? 26, 22?
Almost 22. In 10 days.
Oh, I didn't know you were that much younger than me.
Raise 3,000 more.
Antonius is never going to let him get a free flop.
That's almost automatic in that point. The little blind comes limping in there. But Ellie goes ahead and calls with the best hand so far.
5-9-7.
And a pretty good flop for Patrick Antonius. A gut shot and a pair.
It's not a terrible flop for either player. Both players get a piece of it.
4,500.
Ellie with middle pair.
Neither player with a club in their hand.
Cool.
Bet and a call. Pot now 18-5.
6.
Oh, and that's the straight for Antonius. And a heart draw as well.
How about a straight flush draw?
Yeah, straight flush draw. That's true.
7,500.
Ellie's got a 3% chance of winning this pot. And that 3% is a tie.
It's a tie. It's a push.
That's it. If an 8 hits the board, it will be a chop pot. Ellie cannot win this pot. He can only tie it. Patrick's in great shape. He's got a straight. He's got a flush draw. In a weird way, he almost wants Ellie to have an 8.
21.
21,000.
Oh, absolutely.
He's got a free roll.
He does.
Then all the money goes in. He gets a free roll.
Then he gets a free roll for a big amount of money. Yeah.
Exactly. Ellie leads out. Antonius raises up 21,000.
Yeah, it's a tough spot here. I think it's a pretty easy fold.
Pass.
Ellie gives Patrick his cards. Patrick goes, I don't want those cards. I like my own.
I don't need those. I like mine. That's right.
And the Finn finally starting to gain some momentum. I mean, he still looks like he's getting killed. He's down 141,000. But you got to remember, he was down 265.
I have lost all my money.
600 to play.
He lost all his money talking his language. Let him keep talking.
You know what? Since I know that they would never, like, do anything, they could speak whatever foreign language they want.
Cool.
As long as they don't quit.
Ellie limps in.
Oh, man.
Raise 3,000.
Patrick raises with the hooks.
Whee! I'm on a roll.
Cool.
Ivey going to call with the suited ace. Ellie going to call as well, and this is going to be the Ellie, Patrick, and Phil show.
Seems to be a pretty common theme.
5, 9, queen.
Jack still ahead.
Yeah.
Check, check.
Check.
Well, it checks around.
Deuce.
Everybody's got a small piece of it. Ivey's got a pair of 5s. Lederer a pair of deuces. Antonius with the best of it. He's got a pair of jacks, which is second pair of the board.
7,000.
If Ellie does fold here, well, even if he calls, we'll see a call also from Patrick Antonius.
Yeah, Patrick's not going anywhere.
18.
18,000.
Ouch. That will get
Well, there
Patrick
you go.
Antonius out.
Well, you know what? I discounted that Ellie might raise.
This is poker at the highest level. The worst hand sometimes wins.
How much have you stolen from them today already?
Patrick actually decided to check the flop.
A couple hundred?
And by doing that, he showed enough weakness that Ellie thought he could take it away on a turn, and he did.
How many people you see can steal from Phil Hellmuth?
You know how much more fun it would be if I just won a pot once every 3 hours?
I think it's scary that Ellie Lederer doesn't consider himself a professional with moves like that. All I know is he's up $96,000. Here at the $1 Million Cash Game, we've got some big winners, we've got some big losers, and we're only about halfway through.
Only 69.5.
It's a nits blind, though. I don't want to do it on a nits blind.
It's okay. I don't mind. I'll let you.
I don't mind to be called Nick and win 200.
Durrrr not going to play.
Raise 2,000.
And Patrick's been bigging up some big hands now.
He's starting to definitely catch a few cards.
Unfortunately, though, we've seen him actually lay down the best hand a couple times. Pocket 10s and pocket jacks 2 times in a row now. He's had the best hand, but he's laid it down.
But he's played
Raise.
a majority of the hands pretty good.
9,000.
And Ivey's going to squeeze here. He makes the squeeze play. Remind us one more time, what exactly is a squeeze play?
Whenever an open raiser is called, somebody in late position re-raises, especially a lot of times on a squeeze with air. He's just trying to steal it right there because most of the time, at least the person in the middle, which is Mike Matusow here, doesn't have much.
Cool.
So all I have to really worry about is the original raiser.
Come on.
Why did I have to
I like to have this hand.
Why did I have
I'll
to make
put
that?
9,000.
Why did I have to make that speech before the hand?
6, king, deuce.
And it's Ivey versus Antonius.
Check.
Both players a miss, but Ivey in position has the betting lead.
15.
15,000.
And if Patrick folds this will be 3 hands in a row where Patrick Antonius has folded the best hand. Twice against Ellie, and this could be against Phil Ivey.
Yeah, this one's a little tougher, though. I don't mind how he played this one. I don't like how he played the 2 jacks, though.
I know you guys zip them in 80 blinds every single hand.
We're going to see it in 2 months. Can you tell us what you have? We're the bet. Come on, man.
What?
No, not you. You. I'm talking to... I wouldn't ask you.
How big a bet? I get 10%?
Queen 10 suited. Let's go.
Patrick Antonius now down 176,000. Ziggy, though, our big loser, down 305,000. But the winner of the $1 million cash game so far, still a lot to be played, is Annette Oberstad, the Norwegian phenom, up 185,500.
And she won most of it in one pot.
Well, the straddling has slowed down. Blinds are 300, 600, the $100 ante. Annette's not going to play the Jack Deuce. Annette, by the way, up $186,000.
Okay, for 6.
David Benjamin.
I fold again.
He's going to limp in here.
Of course.
Of course.
And this is the one thing I do like about David's game. He'll limp in with hands like 5-4, 6-3, but he'll also limp in with hands like King-Queen.
Cool.
Kind of puts you on your back heels. You never know where he's at.
I know for sure.
Cool.
And it looks like we're going to see this pot. Yep, it's going to be limped around. We're going to see this pot 5 ways. 5 ways. The pot is 3,800.
10-5 check.
And it's a pretty good flop for King-Queen of Hearts.
Check.
But then again, Mike Matusow's got top pair. This player right here, the Finn.
4,000.
He's got middle pair.
Yeah, Ziggy's going to bet his pair 10s.
He can't stand it.
Cool.
Benjamin going to call. Matusow will probably at least call.
Cool.
Matusow calls as well.
Pass.
This pot now nearly $16,000.
I personally love hands like David Benjamin's.
Well, the thing about David Benjamin's hand is the value, and he's got overs and the straight draw. Unfortunately for him, a king and a queen are no good.
9.
Oh, and a 9 right off of there.
Not only a 9, this is a magical card for him. It's a 9, it's a heart, so now he's got the heart draw as well, but it also gives this guy, Zygmunt, gives him a straight draw.
Actually, Matusow's got a straight draw as well.
Yep. They're both drawing to a tie, though.
Check.
And Benjamin has a heart draw on top of all that.
I mean, if it were to come out, say, 8 of hearts here, I mean, obviously the queen of hearts can't come out, but if the 8 of hearts were to come off.
Even an off-suited 8.
Yeah.
I think you'll see significant action.
Well, you might see some action right here on the turn.
Benjamin's got a lead at this. Got to bet about 10,000.
Yeah, Zygmunt's checked already. The action is on Mr. Benjamin, the Frenchman.
8,500.
That's a suspicious-looking bet, but I bet he gets paid by Mike Matusow.
Well, he bets about half the pot.
Against a type player like Mike, it's probably about the most you could charge him.
Well, half the pot is pretty standard for a lot of players, half to maybe 3/4. Only Zygmunt really bets more. Zygmunt's kind of like that full pot better guy, isn't he?
Gets 2 opponents here. Sometimes you might bet more like 2/3 or 3/4 of the pot.
Mike folds.
Well, this is going to be tough for Zygmunt to fold for 8,500. He's got open and straight and a pair, so he's got a made hand and a draw.
I think he knows he's behind right now.
I think he believes he's behind.
Yeah.
Zygmunt trying to figure out if he's drawing live, but we could see the best he could do is tie.
Pot is 24,300. 8,500 to Zygmunt to call. And Ziggy makes the call.
Cool.
He just about had to make that call.
8.
Oh, and the 8. Oh, this could get expensive.
Check.
And this is the spot. If you have king-queen here, do you overbet it, hoping
Absolutely.
your opponent has the queen?
You bet 35 or 40. You bet slightly more in the pot.
Would you ever go crazy and do and pull a Ziggy and bet 90?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, because that's what Ziggy would do.
Yeah, Ziggy might be able to get away with that. I think I would bet about the pot, a little more than the pot, like 40.
Oh, it's the perfect turn and river for Benjamin. Benjamin with the absolute nuts. Zygmunt with the second nuts. And it's a kind of smallish bet, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he's trying to get value from, let's say, a jack.
24,000.
He's trying to get paid off. Yeah,
Right,
that's a
exactly.
payoff bet.
Trying to get value for maybe like a jack-9 or something along those lines. Even maybe an ace-jack.
The problem with this is, if you're going to do that, you might as well bet half pot.
I have queen. How much is there? What?
Could Ziggy raise? I mean, I don't think so.
Possible, but not probable.
Cool.
No, he's just going to call.
And king.
I didn't think he could raise, but he just calls.
The problem there was, if David Benjamin bets a suspicious bet like half pot, maybe then he raises. But he bet just enough where he can only flat. I'd still love a 40 or 50K bet, though.
Welcome back to the FullTiltPoker.com $1 million cash game.
Cool.
I fold again.
Another limp from David Benjamin with 8-10.
Anytime I raise the king queen.
Nice hand. Raise 3,000.
Ivey's going to raise up on a button with 7-4 spades. Obviously not playing his cards. He's playing this position.
Cool.
And he's playing the fact that David Benjamin limped into this pot.
8-6 king.
Check.
Check.
And then flop comes out king 8-6.
Got shot for Phil Ivey. Middle pair for David Benjamin.
Small bet from Ivey.
This figures to get a call from David Benjamin.
If he's going to call pre-flop, you imagine he's not going to go anywhere when he hits second pair.
Cool.
He just called. That feels about right. Check call.
Ace. Check.
That's actually a real bad card for Benjamin's hand because Phil Ivey was the pre-flop raiser, and that looks like it might have fit it. I'd be shocked if Phil Ivey didn't lead and take this pot.
Check.
Now he's going to check behind, though. Another ace now. And at this point, if you're Benjamin, you probably think you're good.
Check.
Should go check, check. Be hard for Phil Ivey to represent a hand here.
15.
15,000.
Yeah, he's going to try, though. He's going to bet it like he has a king, like he's going to get value, and sure enough,
wow,
gets him off the hand. Well, it's almost the way he played it. It's played it like he had a king. He saw the ace. He goes, okay, you know what? I'm scared of the ace. Now another ace comes out. Now I must be good. My two pair are good, and Benjamin bought it.
I just didn't think that was a believable story, but it was.
Straddle.
Okay.
1,200.
It's fine.
It depends how much we are now.
Okay, 30.
30, okay.
Right now, 3 players really in the running for winning this thing, but there's a lot of poker left to be played.
Can we do it?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, everybody
All right,
straddle.
everybody.
Hey, let's make it. Wait. Let's make it 200 ante for the last half hour.
Yes.
200 ante? Come on, nobody's look.
I'm playing 2 more hands, and you guys can do whatever you want.
Fine, Mikey, you can throw in 100.
Yeah, for one more 100, you
hands.
can do it, man.
Let's just free roll Mikey. It's 100.
You're not throwing your 100, Mike.
Yeah, you do it.
There you go.
Come on, don't do it to me. Give him the 100 right away.
Can I push your blinds to stay too?
Even playing for free, I don't want to play. I'm learning from my lessons.
Give him the 100. Hey.
The only time I ever lose on I take poker.
At least you know you made a good fold on that ace-8 board. So there's that.
Single hand I folded over here, Mr. Benjamin.
I'm working for
So now
Zygmunt.
when he had king queen and got paid off.
This one's straddled by Ellie.
In the meantime, Annette Overstad wakes up with ace queen.
Well, this is interesting. Annette's in position. She knows that Ziggy can open light.
He's been playing a little tighter as of late.
Yeah, I think she's going to want to 3-bet this, though, right?
You know, that's her style. That's what she likes to do. She doesn't like to let those backside hands come in there.
Raise.
And yep, she did re-raise it.
15,000.
Well, if she's going to 3-bet with hands like 7-5 suited, then she's certainly got to re-raise with ace-queen.
Yeah, she'll have position on Zygmunt this whole hand.
I'm not sure if that's going to get rid of Ellie, though. Ellie's fairly deep, and he's got 7s.
I don't think we'll see a call here. But Ellie's got plenty of gamble to him, so he might.
Cool.
And he does.
And that's going to bring in Ziggy.
Cool.
We're going to see this 3 ways.
We weren't going to lose Zygmunt regardless.
Pot is 46,700.
6, deuce, 5.
And the flop misses everybody. It's actually a really good flop for Ellie. But he's out of position. It might be tough for him to play this one.
Check. Check.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a continuation bet. But the pot's so big sometimes you don't see a continuation bet in this kind of situation.
Now let me ask you this. Annette 3-bets and gets called in 2 spots. What kind of hands does she think her opponents have?
Probably thinking she's against at least one pair.
Well, if she's up against a pair, is she really going to get a pair to fold on an 8-6 deuce board?
No.
30,200.
But she did just throw out 30,000 in hopes that she would.
Well, she didn't. Ellie called.
9.
Even though it gives Ellie an open-end straight draw, not a bad card for Annette. Now she has the nut flush draw.
Annette needs an ace, a queen, or a spade to win this. Ellie open-ended, has the best of it. He just needs Oberstead to miss.
Oh, wow.
70.
This is decision time for Annette with the dry ace.
He told me, hey, wait a second. He whispered to me.
No, it's not that much of a decision. Strong play by Ellie.
Wow, what a strong lead that was.
Yeah, I like it.
200 ante, guys. 100 more.
Tell you, Robert, this is fun.
It sure is. We got one of the best jobs in the world.
Yeah, this is the best job in the world. Short of Phil Ivey's.
I was going to say, I said one of the best jobs because being out there on the green felt. It's nothing like that.
The only thing nice about being in here is I can't lose.
Straddle, 1,200.
Taking a look at Patrick Antonius and Mike Matusow. These guys are down hundreds of thousands of dollars. Matusow's only down $27,000, but Patrick Antonius is down $200.
I must have the mind of a gambler. You said you like being up here because you can't lose. I'm thinking I want to be down there because I can't win up here.
Raise, 4,100.
Matusow going to raise this one up. And Ivey going to call at least.
Cool.
Yeah, he calls.
Jack 10 suited. Definitely. Most of the time, Phil Ivey's going to call that spot.
Yeah. Matusow, king, queen.
Ooh, interesting decision here for David Benjamin. Do you re-raise pre-flop? Do you flat call? He just flats.
Cool.
I think he's got a flap call because Mike Matusow is the original raiser.
And Mike playing tight. But you also, Phil might get tricky. He's still got 3 players to act behind him as well. I like the flat call.
With 9s, good chance Mike's got a pretty big hand.
Mike, raise? All right.
That's going to bring Ellie in.
Trying to double up on the last turn.
Oh, this will bring Patrick Antonius in. 5-8 offsuit. I'm not surprised.
Well, those cards are live, so to speak. Although he's got unders.
4, 7, 6.
Oh,
check it.
5-8 offsuit just hit Gin.
What did I say? He's got live cards, sort of, and there you go.
I said I wanted the 7-6 suited on my last hand.
Look at this flop, though. Ellie Lederer flops a flush draw. Overpair for David Benjamin.
12,000.
Unfortunately, they dealt me the ace-king.
It's a tough spot for David Benjamin.
12,000.
I think I might flat if I'm him. That's a scary-looking board.
Now remember, because Patrick doubled up earlier on with the aces, he now has $204,000 in front of him.
Definitely got enough to cover David Benjamin and put a big dent in Ellie Lederer.
Cool.
Benjamin calls, and how do you play this if you're a Lederer?
This is really tough. I just flat in case I'm against a bigger flush draw here. I don't want to play too big a pot with a medium-sized flush. Patrick Antonius with the nuts has to be going, what's going on here?
Well, he loves what's going on. He knows he doesn't want to see a club, though. Certainly doesn't want to see a 5 either. That'll kill his action.
King.
Check it.
That's fine.
King looks like a pretty safe card.
Benjamin probably doesn't like the king, but at the same time, you don't really put your opponents on a king in this kind of flop, right?
Yeah, so far now, unless somebody had a king-high flush draw. King-high clubs, that's about the only possibility. I like a lead again here by Patrick Antonius, though.
Ellie checks. Action on Patrick. He has the nuts.
Bet about 35, 40,000. Punish him for those draws.
Benjamin, by the way, cannot win this pot. Lederer still can. He has a 4-1 dog to win it, though.
Oh, and he's really going to punish those draws.
39,000.
39,000 to bet. Pot now 96.6. 39 to call. If you're Benjamin, you got pocket 9s, but not only got to worry about Patrick, you still got to worry about Ellie behind you as well.
I'm starting to feel like if I'm David Benjamin, I might not have the best hand anymore. And I also think that Ellie feels like he's got a flush draw. So I'm not worried about Ellie as much, but I'm definitely afraid Patrick Antonius leading into this board into 2 players.
Cool.
Benjamin makes the call.
Ellie's got a tough decision here. I think he almost has to call.
How many black chips again?
Is his flush draw good? That's what he has to ask himself.
Well, he's also trying to figure out how much money Patrick has behind. If he hits his flush, is it going to be worth it? It's 39,000 to win 135.6, plus the implied odds if he hits his flush.
If he knows that his flush draw is good, it's an easy call. But trying to figure out if his flush draw is good, I don't know. In this spot, I might actually muck this hand.
A monster pot here, 135.6. He's got the black chips in his hands. Those black chips are 25,000 each.
I don't think there's any chance he can raise here, though. It just doesn't look believable. I think it's got to be debating just a call.
Sorry. Give me another 10 seconds.
I'm telling you, he may fold this. And he does.
And he does, wow.
Take this one, I'll keep this one.
Ellie lays it down.
I'll give you a price if you play with 1 card.
If a club comes, he's going to shoot himself.
Well, now Patrick cannot lose the pot. Just a question of how much more money he can make out of this one.
Queen.
Another overcard.
Ellie loves it right now. Ellie just saved himself 39,000.
Sure does.
100,000.
100,000. Wow. A tough one for David Benjamin with only 66,000 left. 130-something thousand in the pot. It's getting 2-1. Once I've called the turn, I might call the river here.
I mean, all he can beat right now is a bluff. All he can beat is 6-5, 5-4, 7-5, something like that, right?
A flush draw, ace-5 of clubs. I mean,
okay, fair enough.
He can beat a pretty good range of hands here. But the problem is, Patrick Antonius could have had a king-high or queen-high flush draw, or even king-queen of clubs for that matter. I don't know. This is a really, really tough decision here.
This is a really interesting hand. Benjamin, with the overpair on the flop, his hand's getting uglier and uglier, and now he's faced with a $66,000 bet on the river. And he can really only beat a bluff.
You could cut the tension with a knife.
It's been a tough day for Benjamin.
Really has.
Yeah.
He's thinking, do I go ahead, after paying off kings versus aces, do I pay off Patrick Antonius yet again? I wouldn't be surprised if David Benjamin put a coin out of his pocket and just flipped it and decided heads I call, tails I fold. It's that close.
I'll be honest, I was surprised Benjamin called on the turn.
If you decide to call the turn, you almost got to call the river. I think this is the longest decision we've had today, and an important one.
Well, we can't discount the fact that Benjamin and Antonius have a lot of history together. Benjamin knows Antonius very, very well, but at the same time, Patrick can be so confusing. Face of stone, giving nothing away.
Oh, and he makes the laydown.
Nice laydown by Benjamin.
That really was. That was a hard laydown.
Well, it was, especially when he made the call on the turn. And don't look now, but Patrick Antonius, who was in a lot of trouble early on, down about $300,000, has now crawled his way back, and he's now down under $100,000. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. Tom Dwan on top, up $200,000. Phil Ivey right behind him. Ned Overstad, she gave back some. She's still up $139,000. And our big losers, Benjamin, Ziggy, and Patrick Antonius. But Patrick Antonius, he's made a lot of headway into his loss. Once down nearly $300,000. Now, only down $99,000.
After losing a monster pot, Ilari Sahamis finds himself a staggering $380K in the red, well and truly rooted to the foot of our leaderboard. Tom Dwan remains the man to catch, and with the likes of Phil Ivey and Lederer hot on his heels and gunning for his chips, anything can happen. Join us next time for more high-stakes action at the FullTiltPoker.com $1 Million Cash Game.